I got terminated for TikTok. The kids were like using their phone, like it was a
Oh.
whole like it was a mess. But I digress, and I've learned from it and I've grown from it. I didn't understand it at the time, but it's part of my story.
All right, hey everybody. So, season 3 of the Girl Uprising podcast, we are live, and this is random. But my college friend, Brehon, hit me up, and he's like, "Look, let me get on." I'm like, "Okay." Like, let's hop on and let's like discuss. Like, I knew whatever it was that he wanted to talk about, I'm gonna be behind it. I'm gonna help push it, help promote it. So I was like, yeah, of course. I'm gonna let Breon introduce himself, introduce what he has going on, what he's starting, and then we'll take it from there. Go ahead, Breon.
What's up, y'all? When I first saw you, like saw you on like TikTok or whatever, I
Mm-hmm.
had just like redid my page into like
Mm,
burn advocacy and burn survivor awareness. And like
okay.
as many platforms that I can get on, the
Mm-hmm.
better it is for me. But yeah, I'm Breon. I have a background in teaching. I taught for the last like 8 years or so. So a lot of these things is new for me. I've always been a burn advocacy, burn survivor. Because it's just who I am. But my primary job is I'm a merchant mariner, so I work on a boat or whatever. But my main reason for coming in here is to bring awareness to burn advocacy and burn awareness. Like I am a burn survivor. When I was 10 years old, I was set on fire by a guy in my neighborhood, and it's never been a woe is me type of moment. It's always been
Mm,
like a victim, and that's why I call myself a survivor because I am
mm,
not a victim. And I keep working these jobs and they're a dead end and they're not permanent. And
mm-hmm.
I slowly realized that I'm not passionate about any of these things. This is just like for the income
Mm.
and what's temporary. But burn survivor and burn advocacy and awareness is what I'm passionate about and what I want to do.
I love that. I'm thinking about when I first like met you and how we were in college. You were always just like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
A
like.
lot of people see a lot of people say that like I remember when I was teaching up in Jersey and like after I interviewed the principal was just like she assumed that I would say something about my scars or
Mm-hmm.
whatnot,
Yeah.
but I don't lead with it. I never had to lead with it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
happened to me when I was such a young age and it's the only body that I know, so
Mm-hmm.
I never have to like talk about it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a thing that's there. I'm Breon and I am
Mm-hmm.
a burn survivor, you know. And sometimes I walk into different rooms and like and I to new people and I forget that I wear them, forget that I wear scars.
Uh-huh.
And they stare and I often forget. I'm like, damn, like that is a real thing. So it's not something it's something that I have gotten used to and accustomed to and I don't even think about it. And I write about that in the
Yeah.
book too. Yeah, it's crazy.
Ooh, okay, okay. So, yeah, I remember that about you, and I was like, I love that because even though all of us don't have like visible scars, we all have stuff that kind of keep
Of
us like,
course. Yeah.
you know, and the thing is to, just accept it and not lead with it. It's just like, yeah, this happened to me. Yeah, this is what it is, but it doesn't define me.
Yeah.
So I
The,
always think it really courageous of people who have that mindset.
Of course, I think the difference in like when you say people, we all have scars or we all deal with
Mm-hmm.
things. I think the difference between like someone like who have them in the inside or deal with them internally. I deal with them internally, but as well as I have
Mm-hmm.
them apparently on my body, so people know that. So it's that much harder to hide.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So I heard you say a book.
Hmm.
Uh, tell us about
I
this
have
book.
been writing this book. I feel like forever. I It started off like because I wrote a book when I was in elementary school about how I got burned. And it won like
Mm,
a prize or something. Very local, very minute, very like nothing major. And
okay.
librarian, elementary school librarian, reached out to me, and she wanted to like turn it into something. But we had two different visions. But she had the publishing. She wrote books before, so she had the publishing. But it ended up not working out. But I still like have the publication. I still have the book. But it's just about determination, motivation, and like aspiration to still want to do better after life has been so fucked up. It's being burned at such a young age, and
Mm,
being so severe and so horrific.
mhm,
um it's it's a mind fuck, and it really, you really do have to be a
mm,
strong person to be able to wear these scars and be confident and live a
for
good life,
sure.
because it can really take a toll on you.
Mm,
So in the book I just write about, on top of being a burn survivor, I'm a black man in society. I also have like different different trauma growing up in the household, like all different things, on top of being
mhm,
someone who like wore scars. Even
mhm,
when it happened in 2000, we didn't even like CHKD in Virginia didn't even have the tools back then to like treat someone so severe. Like I had to fly to
mhm,
Cincinnati, Ohio, in the like Shriners Hospital where they specialized
mhm,
in burns. So all of it was new. Um,
mm.
so you just got to be a strong person.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So you were about 10 when it
Mm,
happened.
mm,
How did like how did you take it? Like what were some of the steps that you took to, kind of get to the point where it's like, okay, I have this, this is gonna
right.
be me permanently. Like
Mm.
what did you do to cope with it,
Well,
I guess?
I when I first came home, it was a lot of healing. Like I was still in physical therapy and occupational therapy
Mm,
when I came home, and like I had the face mask and I had the gloves and the garments. So like it was a lot of that, as well as going to school with all that. It was a lot. I think that being able to have like good people around you is what made
mm,
me the person that I am. Like I attend a burn camp, Central
aw,
Virginia burn camp, and I've been
okay.
a camper since 2004. And then when you turn 17 or 18, you become a counselor, and then you counsel the other burn survivors. Um,
Mm,
and that has been my staple, and I feel like my conduit to my success and my self esteem. It is a camp for age like 7 to 17, and if you have sustained an injury, it doesn't have to be severe, but like I think you have to be like hospitalized. It can't be like a iron, like you touch the stove, you know but something
mhm,
permanent to where it has scarred, no pun intended, but your life to where you've been affected
mhm,
by it. And I think camp has done wonders for me, and back then I didn't think about it, like I didn't realize how amazing it was. I just thought that we all were, um, freaks, sort of say. But it's
mm,
such an amazing thing to be a part of. Even still to this day, I attested to
mm,
who I am permanently. Yeah.
okay. So you probably will always kind of go back to volunteer or just,
Oh yeah, I go every year. Like
yeah.
like I said, when I moved up to Jersey and I was teaching, I couldn't go. Like they didn't put it in the contract in the summer. But
Mhm,
any chance I get that I'm free, like I'm going this summer, next month in June actually. But any chance I'm free, I go. It's the best feeling in the world to be able to give back.
mm,
I
yeah,
was
because it's
once
probably a
that
part
I
of
was
you.
once that kid. Yeah, I was once that
Mhm,
kid that didn't know how I would grow up or how it would turn out. When you get burned, especially that
mm,
young, you're still growing. Your skin is still growing. You don't know how you're gonna turn out and look. So seeing people who look
mm,
like me, who was a kid before when it happened, you get, some
mm,
hope. You're hopeful. Because you got to think most of us are the only burned person in our town, our school, our church, our household.
mhm,
So to see everyone that can't look like you, it's just like, oh, okay, this is lit.
yeah.
Hmm.
You mentioned what you do now. You're a merchant
Hmm.
seaman, and you said this is not fulfilling. Um, did you know taking that position you weren't going to be fulfilled, or was it like I've been in a position for a few years and this is
Hmm.
not something is just not hitting? Like,
Yeah.
what was
You know
it?
what was so funny? You know what actually happened? Teaching actually started to crumble. I left Jersey
Mm,
because like it didn't work out in Jersey contract wise. Like that didn't work out.
mhm,
And that's why I wanted to turn these comments off because I can't like, but so that didn't work out. And then I came back to Virginia and taught, and I got terminated for a TikTok. The kids were like using their phone, like it was a
oh,
whole like it was a mess. But I digress, and I've learned from it and I've grown from it. I didn't understand it at the time, but it's part of my story. So I kind
Oh
of landed
wow.
into this. I kept, like I said, the jobs kept being dead end. So I knew
Mm,
people who worked this. I know it was good money. I know I have different goals that I want to set.
mhm,
And so I kind of like fell into it that way. I got the certifications that I needed within a year or so, and like I work on boats. It is still not
mhm,
ideal for me.
mhm,
Um, and I think that's just God making me and continually making me uncomfortable, so that I um, can finally
mhm,
do what He set me to do here.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's why I don't take any of these things like personal.
Mhm. That's a good way to look at, to look at things. I had a guest on a podcast,
Hmm.
maybe like last month, and we were talking about when did we know it was time for her? When did she know it was time for her to pivot? You know,
Hmm.
everybody has like it's like a similar story, or similar feelings. Like you get this sense of like being uncomfortable. It's not even necessarily anything wrong with the job or extra money. You're just like, this is just not what I'm supposed to do. So sometimes those situations are really like divine intervention, because if you wouldn't have gotten into whatever situation it is, you would have never, took the steps that you
A
needed
hundred
to do.
percent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and granted, at the time, you're like, "What in the world?" I know what I meant. I know that this is what wasn't the goal. Like I know I wasn't purposely trying to be wrong and do wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and you just truly don't understand it, and you have to trust God and you have to believe it. And it's hard for us to even interpret that or understand that when someone tells you that when your career or your life is crumbling. It's hard to accept that, but
Mm.
you really do have to have faith. And I think once you get ultimately to that goal, you will look back and you're like, oh, that's why, and that's who, and then it'll start to
Mm-hmm.
make sense.
Yeah, it makes sense in hindsight, but like you said, when you're
Hmm.
going through it, you just like, listen,
My
I don't
God,
even,
like
I don't
help, help.
stop. Yeah,
Yeah.
stop. Like, stop it. It's just one
Hmm.
thing after another, after another. That's the good thing about aging. Like,
Hmm.
people always
Oh yeah.
on aging,
Oh
but it's just
yeah.
like you get to a point where you're like, okay, I've been here before. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
die.
Yeah. Younger me would have like lost it. I would have like
Mm-hmm.
lost it, or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like reacted in a different way, or treated it like I would have coped with it in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely growth and experience helps
Okay.
you in a long run for sure. You know.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk more about the next step of your life.
Mm-hmm.
The are we doing a podcast? I know we're going to continue to work on a book. Are we opening a nonprofit?
Hmm.
What
Yeah,
what
so
do the
I
next
want to
steps
do
look
kind of like all of those things. I think the book is
like?
there, like the foundation
Okay.
is there.
Okay.
So that is like a no-brainer.
Mhm.
But like I want to open up, like I said, I want to be a motivational speaker, and I want to be able to like whether go to
Mm,
schools or churches or like big platforms and like share my story. I think maybe the book being the foundation to like get people to want to learn or to inquire or get eyeballs pointed towards that, and to get people
mhm.
inquisitive about it, and I just want to be able to be an advocacy. Like I said, these jobs aren't permanent for me. I'll be able to monetize this situation as well as like
Mhm.
advocate for burn survivors and burn awareness and inspiration and not giving up and keeping faith. So
Mhm.
it's all about that. Like I said, it'll be like a title, and then it'll be advocacy, inspiration, and like not being able to give up even in the thick of it all. And I feel like I've
Mm.
been through any situation possible in life, for real. I've been
Mm.
through it and I beat it.
Mm. Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Okay. What's one thing that people wouldn't know about you from this interview or from
Ooh.
looking at your Facebook or
Uh,
LinkedIn?
mm, that is a really good question. Um, oh my God, that's a really good question that they wouldn't know about me.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, a lot of people I present myself as this, and I am very confident, but I present myself this lucky, happy go lucky person. But I do suffer with anxiety. I suffer with severe anxiety. And I've had to treat it with medication for so many years. And I am like sober now. I don't treat it with medication anymore. But it's something I deal with on the daily. And I am confident in various outlets. But
Mhm.
I still do suffer with it in many ways. Like when things go
Mm.
awry and things aren't good in life, it's bad. It's not a good feeling. And like
Mm.
from the outside looking in, or from the naked eye, you'll probably think that like he's in someone who deals with it, but for
Mm-hmm.
sure deal with anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Oh, what? Thank you for being so transparent. I
Yeah,
know, like, I'm on a journey where I am just trying to be more vulnerable with just people, period. Because if someone would have asked me that, I would have been like, some like little surface
yeah.
cliche.
Why not?
Yeah, yeah. But I'm learning that, that's how you grow. And that's also how you take in help. Like we all need
Right.
help from people around us, and sometimes
Hmm.
you're not getting the help that you need, the
Hmm.
support, the resources,
Hmm.
because you're not opening your mouth. So
I agree.
definitely, definitely, advice to your 16-year-old self.
Oh, it is not that serious. I would literally say it is not that serious. Um, like when you're 16 as well, like I don't even like I was about to go a whole different like outlet, but I don't even want to do that for this interview. That's a whole different time. But like when you're 16,
Do
you
what you
can't see
feel.
outside those four walls of like your high school.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
think that that's it. This is permanent. Like whoever likes me here, they ain't gonna like. So I just went and I just took all of that to heart. I took everything so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
permanent. And it would just be it's not that serious. You will grow. Those people don't matter. If they do,
Mm-hmm.
they'll still be here at this age. Like you're good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it would just be like, boy, like stop it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what um that's what I was the interview, like one of the videos that I made a few days ago, I was actually I'm looking at interview younger people, like 16 to like 21, 22,
Okay.
because that's I said the exact same thing. You feel like if something happens, like in high school, you just like, oh, my world is crushed. I'll never recoup from this. Like it is the end of the world, but you don't understand that everybody else has gone through that and
Mm-hmm.
probably much
Mm-hmm.
more, and you can, get through it
Yeah, some people
for
just
sure.
handle it well. Some people just wear it differently.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say wearing it differently because I
Mm-hmm.
think, yeah, some people might cry, some people cry alone, some people cry in front of other people. So, or,
For sure.
we're not even
Yeah.
going to that.
Yeah.
We're not going to go into that. Um, what's what's some advice that you would give to somebody who just got burned? They're just like in in whatever fashion, and they're just like, how do I move on from this? Like, what does my life look like after this? What's your
Mm-hmm.
advice?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. I would say take it a day at a time. I will also
Mm,
tell them to get a community, become part of a community, especially a burn community of people that like love
mm,
you and see you and feel you. Um,
mm,
but taking it a day at a time is so rough. Like I remember not wanting to wear the garments because I wanted to be like regular. The garments are like pressure garments, so they help your skin grafts lay flat. Like the skin
okay.
grafts on the side of my face. Like if I didn't wear the mask, it would be like puffy or whatever. And like you kind of just want to get healed really fast so you can be normal and do what regular kids do, and you won't be picked out. But what you don't realize that like regardless, you are going to be singled out because you don't wear the garments, but those scars are
Mm,
still there. So just
mm,
take it a day at a time, and you have to have a good community of people who love you, look like you, support you, in order to be able to. I feel like be successful in the journey because it's such a long journey. It's such a long journey. Every day you wake up, you look at yourself and you look different. Especially, I mean, like I said, it happened to me when I was 10 years old. It's the only body I know because I
mm-hmm.
didn't necessarily look at my body like that 9 to 1 or whatever. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so if it happened to it, also depends on what age it happens to you in to where if you're gonna be like affected by it differently. I feel like if I was older, like in my 20s, 30s, where life has like happened, puberty and all of
Mm-hmm.
those things, it would be different. But get you a community of people that look like you, support you, and I think you'll be good. But you got to find those people. You got to find that love because if you are in a community or in a place where everyone is different, you're always going to be singled out. You're never going to feel accepted,
Mm-hmm.
so you got to kind of find that, take it easy.
Aw.
Yeah.
Look, I feel so reassured right now. I do, I do. Okay, cool, cool. So if someone wanted to get in touch with you, what's your information
I'm
where they can
Brehon
contact you?
underscore.
Mhm.
Brehon underscore BREHON underscore on Instagram. I'm Scars to Survive on TikTok. And
Okay.
that's all I have right now. I want to do
Okay.
TikTok once my platform expands. But like I
Mhm.
say, any platform I can get on to talk, I'm willing to do that.
Thank you so much. Any last words for the people?
Um, I just feel like I've always say Scars to Survive is looking to show people that burn survivors aren't or isn't an ailment. It's
Mm,
not a disability or anything. Like we have been through something traumatic, and we are
mhm,
strong and we are survivors and we are phoenixes. But we want to lead the way. It's not anything that we want to be victimized about. And that's literally my
mm,
main goal is to show you that we are capable, as well as to educate you about us. So,
mm,
if you see a burn survivor, someone that looks like me, come and, I'm sure we wouldn't mind, come up and ask what happened or, how's the
mm.
healing and stuff. So,
Well, thank you so much for your time.
no problem. It was such a good time. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.